Binge the full week ad free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Swipe Up, the 138th episode of the show, where I share some of my favorite posts from Instagram or just posts that I feel like sharing, some things that have happened or are happening around the world, you know, that I want to share or want to talk about. Let's get into it, shall we? For those that don't know, Tony Hinchcliffe has been canceled. And this is the clip. I don't know if this is the original clip, but this is the comic that posted it. This is the comic that is featured in this clip. I'm not going to play the audio. If you want to look up actually, I would recommend if you want to watch the full clip, you want to see Peng Dang's full stand-up set, followed by Tony Hinchcliffe's full stand-up set. Go to YouTube and look up Ari Shaffir's YouTube account. He posted the full version of the video, which he posted with the intention of adding context to what Tony Hinchcliffe said, which if you do watch this clip, then you will see after Peng Dang announced Tony, brought him on stage, introduced Tony to the audience and brought him on stage. Tony did what he has done many times on Kill Tony, which is the most hack racist shit ever. I stopped watching Kill Tony months ago. I think I stopped before they moved to Austin. I tried watching a couple episodes after they had moved to Austin to see what the changes were with the show. And my takeaway was that the show became far more racist, and there was no longer the band. I mean, there's a new band that plays music, but they don't play characters. There's no improv. There's none of that. There's none of that is there anymore. All of that is gone. All of the band members that were a big addition to not only the comedy, but a big balancing act to take a lot of the steam out of Tony's sales. At least they used to, because Tony is a very conservative comedian and kind of leaned to the right far more over the past year. Getting close to the election at the end of last year, Tony was a very hard supporter of Trump. And so when they moved to Texas, I guess he felt emboldened, maybe because of the crowd, maybe they just enjoy racist humor quite a bit more in Texas, which wouldn't be that surprising. Definitely leaned far more into it. In fact, the episode of Kill Tony I watched, the last episode, Tony was being quite racist, and throughout the show, and even commented about how much more racist he's gotten since moving to Texas. So the fact that he got busted, he got found out being extremely racist to his opener, which they've apparently worked together before, he's been canceled. Which by that means he lost his representation, his management. He lost, I guess, a couple stand-up dates with Joe Rogan. But I don't feel bad for Tony. Tony's going to be okay. Listen, Joe Rogan is going to give him a big platform, Kill Tony, maybe losing some sponsorship money, whatever. But Tony's going to have a career. But his fan base are going to be people that love his racist humor, which I tapped out on months and months ago. I gave up on it. So to see this, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised how racist it was. And then watching the full clip that Ari posted, he's basically mocking Peng Dang's set while using, extremely racist kind of Asian voices, a variety of them, and just talking down about Peng Dang's comedy set. Like, I've never been to a comedy show where the feature or the headliner spends their first few minutes absolutely shitting on their, I mean, take the racism out of it. I've never seen a comedian go up on stage and just absolutely shit on the previous comic's entire set. So just that aspect of what Tony was doing is pretty embarrassing and disrespectful and pretty hateful, and not really doing anything for a kid that's, he's a Chinese immigrant trying to grind out comedy in Austin far before all of these LA comics went to Austin, right? He's been in the Austin scene longer than Tony, trying to grind it out and get better at the craft of stand-up. So yeah, maybe his comedy's not, he's not a headliner. I remember seeing Tony as an opener for Ari Shaffir. When Ari got on stage, he didn't spend the first 5 minutes talking shit about Tony's set, let alone hack racism that really just reminds me of grade school, pickup basketball grade school. Just disgusting. And watching the full clip of Tang Dang's set did not help the fact when Tony went up. Called like his entire thing when Tony hits the stage, racist and filthy. He called him a filthy, I don't even know, C word, racial slur towards Chinese people, right? Blank in the armor. Called him a filthy one of those, which if that was a black comment, if he called him a filthy N-word, it would have been even more outraged. It's amazing the people that are defending this. Like, it's okay to be racially insensitive and hate speech towards Asians, apparently. It's okay. Some comics perfectly okay with that. But if he had done the same thing, same racially charged thing, shit on the opening comic, and that opening comic for him was a black dude, would have been even bigger. It's insane that people are defending this. So it's disgusting. I wanted to talk about it because I was not at all surprised. It was just a matter of time. Tony himself, you could do a supercut of every time an Asian is called up on stage or a guest on Kill Tony, that there is guaranteed going to be some just the hacky racist shit, which they're completely emboldened to do when it's an Asian. But, of course he wouldn't do it to a black person. Or, anyway. So I don't have any sympathy. He's friends with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan will have him on his podcast a bunch of times. Joe Rogan will be a guest on Kill Tony a bunch of times. Joe Rogan's fans love racism. They love misinformation. They love propaganda. They love all of that shit. So it's like, Tony got what he wanted. He wanted to be a heel, and now he's getting the attention for being that. I feel bad for Peng Dang for having to probably get attacked. Asians are getting attacked in general anyway because of our previous president, who Tony Hinchcliffe is a huge fan of. So it's not surprising that he would perpetuate the same hate speech that Trump would. But I feel bad for Peng Dang because he's probably getting shit on. But, he's been in Austin, so I'm sure a lot of the Austin comics know him and hopefully have his back. Because I haven't really seen any comics have Peng Dang's back. I've only seen people have Tony's back, and that's just disgusting. I've unfollowed a lot of people. Let's move on. Let's move on to a comic that I have a lot of respect for, Tiffany Haddish. She has her foundation, She Ready Foundation, where she helps support foster kids, giving them a bunch of different services, and it looks like she's teamed up with Oprah Winfrey. They're matching donations, both Oprah and Tiffany. So when you donate, they will match your donations up to a certain dollar amount, $75,000. They will match. And it's to offer a bunch of services to foster kids, including giving them luggage. So when they move from foster home to foster home or whatever, they can put their stuff in a suitcase versus a trash bag, which is the common mode of transportation for foster kids, as told by Tiffany, who grew up as a foster kid. So let's move on now. This is a bit, I mean, if you want to throw money at a good charity, She Ready Foundation, 100%. And it's cool to see that Tiffany is teamed up with Oprah on that one. Let's move on now to this really cool piece from Designer Con. Actually, the I Am Will Blood. This is a piece from him. It is a skull inside of a plexiglass case. The skull is a little bit misshapen because it is the skull of the one and only Homer Simpson, and then it's got on the plexiglass drawn the outline of his face. I just thought it was a really cool way to display Homer Simpson in a way that I've never seen before. I feel like I've seen paintings of like the skeletal of Homer Simpson, but the way that it's portrayed in this image is pretty cool. So anyway, let's move on. Cool piece of art. Move on now to Chuck Liddell apparently throwing in his hat in the ring to fight Jake Paul. I actually wouldn't mind that. I mean, I would never watch it. I would never pay to watch it. I wouldn't even steal the fight. I mean, I'm sure I would see a clip somewhere. The fact that Ben Askren didn't do anything isn't surprising, considering Ben Askren is a wrestler. He's not he's not known for striking at all. Chuck Liddell is, however, well regarded. Kickboxing is his forte, well known, but also lost his chin. I mean, I don't think I've seen his last few fights. The one he did with Tito, from what I heard, it wasn't very good. But he was a former light heavyweight champion in the UFC, so he's a lot larger than Ben Askren. He's studied and trained stand-up for his whole career, so he's got the skills. He's going to be a little bit slower, but if he just needs a little bit, he just needs good defense. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I could see Chuck Liddell. That's like a decent matchup. Like I could see Chuck Liddell potentially winning that. Which anything to get Jake Paul out of the spotlight in sports. Not that I even care anymore. Like the UFC is becoming a circus. I haven't watched a UFC fight in months. I've unfollowed a bunch of UFC accounts just because I'm tired of seeing their bullshit. But it is what it is. Would not mind seeing. I would love to see Chuck Liddell not only get that payday, because apparently you get paid really well to fight Jake Paul, because there's a lot of his YouTube audience is huge, so a lot of money to be had there. So I'd love to see Chuck get that payday. But I also would love to see Chuck go out with a win. I mean, that would be an amazing win to really just kind of say goodbye to his career once and for all. But last but not least, let's move on to this last one. Apple's foldable iPhone reportedly rolling out in 2023. So in a couple years, we might be seeing an iPhone that folds in half, which this is displaying it. So it opens up, and then it would become like, super big. It would be more like a tablet. I'm skeptical about the foldable LCD screens or LED screens. Any moving parts break first. So having hinges and a screen that folds, get a piece of dust in there, what's going to happen? Does heat over time? Does the screen, crack? I don't know. But I'm not excited. It's not a feature that I need. If I need a bigger screen, I'll use my tablet. Other than that, the screen size on my phone is perfectly fine. I have no need to be able to. I have no desire to or need for my iPhone to expand its screen in any way. Now, if you could take an iPhone and then fold this in half instead of adding, then maybe. Then you can have, your normal size phone, but in a smaller form factor. That I could see. But still, I'm skeptical of any kind of foldable screen technology. I haven't seen it in person. This wouldn't be the first phone to have a foldable screen. Apple tends to make things of a high quality, but I am skeptical. So we'll see if that actually, Apple rumors are a dime a dozen. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition in 2023. But wouldn't be surprised. It seems like that's a trend. And they're usually a few years, they wait for trends to settle a little bit before they hop on board. All right, let's do some shout-outs and get out of here, shall we? Shout out to Pang Dang Comedy. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not being harassed and assaulted by other people in Texas. I hope you're being treated with respect. It could not have been an easy choice to put that footage out, considering the fact that you and Tony have worked together, but good on you for showing the world what Tony Hinchcliffe has been doing for years. Shout out to Tiffany Haddish, Designer Con, I Am Will Blood, Punched Faces, and Gizmodo. But most importantly, shout out to you. Get yourself $25 in credit when you sign up for Ting cell phone service. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. That's TING. Get yourself $25 in credit. You can apply that to your bill. You can apply that to a new device. But this is the great cell phone service at a very, very low cost. Works on all the major networks, same low rates, and the best coverage ever. Get $25 off when you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. And get your new cell phone service, and thank me later. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!